Today we're going to jump into creating frames and learn a little bit more about base frames. So if you go to your application data, which if you don't have, you can go to Windows tab, Show, View, Application Data, or you can go ahead and go to Reset Perspective. That should pop this window up called Application Data. The first one is World. If you do an Insert Frame, you can get a child frame of World. You can go to the Properties tab by right-clicking, hitting Properties, which will give you the ability to rename the frame as well as make some changes to the data of the frame, such as the position or orientation of that frame in space with respect to the parent frame. So in this case, we're just going to make some nominal changes, such as x equals 630 millimeters and z equals 290 millimeters. We'll change the orientations to 180 degrees, which is about 3.14 radians. So 180 degrees in A and negative 180 degrees in C for the orientations. The redundancy information, E1 is the null space angle that's similar to joint 3, so we're just going to set it to 0. The turns don't matter in the LBR series because it can't go past 180 degrees. And the status is a combination of a few different things like the wrist position with respect to A1 as well as if A4 and A6 are greater or less than 0. So here it's 0, 1, 0, which is equal to a value of 2. If you want to learn more about that, you can look in the manual. It describes a bunch of information on how to define that status. If we go ahead back to the frame that we just created, we can right-click and hit Base. That allows us to calibrate that as a base frame. We're going to jump into just looking at frames in general real quick on the Smart Pad. So if you go to the Smart Pad and you hit the Frames tab, you'll be able to go and check out different frames. These frames give a few different data information below them. You can see like the name and the tool that they were taught with, and then like here we have a warning that what you're moving, what tool you're moving, what TSP you're moving is not what was used to create that frame. So if you need to change or make a touch up to a frame, this is where you can do that. You can jog the robot and touch it up. For example, here we have a frame called right. We're going to change this gripper to the flange. As you can see, that warning goes away, so we have the right tool, and then we can touch it up. If you go to the robot page, what you'll see is that you can also go to calibration, base calibration, and select whatever base you've selected, again by right-clicking, and then in the Sunrise workbench and clicking base, and then clicking the method and types, and go ahead and calibrating the actual origin and the x-axis and the positive y-axis in the xy plane. So that's how you could calibrate a defined base. If you want to do just some quick code examples, we can go ahead and take off the frame as a base and just treat it like a normal frame, which get application data has some methods to get the frame via the string name, which defined as an object frame that it returns. That object frame doesn't have the ability to set things like this frame class. So once you import the correct com.kuka object frame and frame classes, you'll be able to go ahead and copy the object frame P1 with redundancy, meaning with that E1 value, and then make changes to that frame. So for here example, we're going to set the X value, and we're going to go ahead and get that frame 1 again, get the X value that we just saw, and then add some sort of offset to it. So now we're just setting that value to 1 millimeter plus whatever the original X value was.